Okie dokie. Is it working? That's the hope. That's the hope. Hello, Paul. Is this not... It's not... Okay, it's refreshing. Okay. Now it's working. Alrighty. How are you guys? I mean, it says there's 1 viewer, so... Well, now it says there's 0. So I have no idea, but hello to the 1 viewer. Hello, Paul. I have some time today because I have a day off. So, not feeling the best. I think this might only be a 30, 45 minute kind of thing, just for my sanity and my stupid body. I had, I would say, the worst migraine of the year, easily top 5 ever. I had yesterday morning, so want to avoid that. I almost went to the hospital. Like it was that bad. It was one of those things where it was like, is this a migraine or is this some kind of impending death, So we will see there. Yes. How many pairs of glasses do I have? Many. Maybe I should show you guys my glasses sometime, but I can't show you all of them at once because some of them are at work and some of them are at home, just in case I forget. So I have to leave them in different places. I do that with my meds as well. I leave them in, like, oh, well, here's some for this purse and here's some for this bag and here's some for my office thing, like my desk, and here's some for this area. So yeah, I just like, what animal does that? It's like a squirrel. So I am a squirrel apparently, so that's it. Yeah, definitely got to be in the 10s. Oh, definitely the 10s. I have glasses that, the clear glasses are, they have a prescription on them. These glasses, the tinted glasses or the sunglasses, there's 2 sunglasses that have prescription for when I have to drive or something. The rest of them don't, because I only wear them, usually wear them to prevent migraines or in the case of migraine. And so when you have to focus your eye because of the prescription, it hurts. So that's why they don't have the prescription. But that's it. Have a nice lunch break. Well, I'm off today, so it's just, that's what I called these when I was making them at this time. So I'm still calling them that. But there's no lunch break today. All right. So, thoughts, plans, doing stuff for Halloween? Anybody? I don't know how many Jehovah's Witnesses watchers or viewers that I have, but yeah. In case of migraine, break glasses out. I love it. That's good. I love it. Yeah, I'm not sure a lot of people are on right now, which I don't know why. Like, what's going on today? Is today maybe a holiday or something? Because I know a lot of my viewers are in the Western Hemisphere. So for a lot of you, it should be like after work, I think. So you guys shouldn't be at work. So usually when I go on at this time, there's a few more viewers. But I'm okay with just chatting with just 1 or 2 of y'all. That's totally fine. Yeah, whenever it's midterms and finals, we end up sometimes with half a day off or something. So that's where we're at. I gotta figure out a way to really get my students to not plagiarize constantly. It's not everybody, but for a lot of students, they have a hard time seeing that 0. And I tell them, this is what's plagiarism. This is what's plagiarism. No, you can't put a source and then just copy paste everything from the website and then say it's your own work. You still have to paraphrase. If you need help paraphrasing, let me know, blah, blah, blah. And I will give you a 0. I will check. I have given students a 0. I will fail you on this exam for plagiarism. And then you still get like, I don't know, 10? I don't know what percentage that would be. But a fair percent of students still plagiarize, which is really annoying to grade, because I have to first detect it, like, oh, wait a minute, you know, and then I have to go hunt it down. If they turned it in verbally, like as a presentation, I got to type everything in there. Then I have to prove it and prove, yes, this is what happened, and here's the syllabus where they agreed not to plagiarize and blah, blah, blah. So it's very, very something. It's not, I don't know, it's not straightforward. That's the frustrating part. And then myself, I'm still doing homework and doing my papers, and I've got a final coming up for myself, which is fun. So I'm not too worried. It's to give a presentation, which I'm pretty comfortable talking to a camera. So at least there's that. You know, whether even if it was like a Zoom thing, you know, I'm obviously very comfortable doing that as well. So when I found out it wasn't a paper, I just thought, oh, okay, this is different. You know, I feel comfortable writing essays. I feel very comfortable writing essays, but I think I was just happy that this was a little different. So I'm very happy about that. I assume the first 0 score would have shot across the bows for everyone. I'm not sure what you mean. And also, Chris, hello. You'd think, but these are students that are new for me and possibly new to the school, coming from the Korean school system. And the Korean school system doesn't really care if you plagiarize. I asked a former student of mine who ended up becoming like a part-time teacher while he was going to university, and I asked him about that. You know, why do you think that students still plagiarize? And he said, well, you know, Koreans are very perfectionist, and making mistakes is not really allowed. So rather than fumble through trying to figure out how to be a good writer, just take it from someone who already is a good writer, and then it's perfect, you know? And I said, yeah, but I mean, the student agreed, or the former student, he agrees with me that it's totally cheating, it shouldn't be done, whatever. And I said, well, with that reasoning though, wouldn't it be better to make the mistakes so you can improve and get closer to perfection? Because if you, like, especially if you're the first person writing on a topic, you know, or if there's not a whole lot of writing to be found on the topic, you got to do it. You got to lay that groundwork, you know. And isn't it better to figure it out instead of copying it? I don't know. Well, you said that, yes, bows. Thank you for helping with the pronunciation, Chris. I've just never heard shot across the bows or shot across the bows. I've never heard that as a phrase, so that's why I was confused. As in, one person failing would make everyone else straighten up, you'd think, but that would require you to pay attention when the teacher's talking. So remember, you guys tune in because you are choosing to do that. My students don't. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of funny. It's like for some of the viewers, like you guys have said, you know, I wish I had you as a teacher. That's you saying, if I were to go back in time and blah blah blah, with all this different perspective, you know. For them, they have to go to school. They don't want to wake up in the morning, because what teenager does, you know, their sleep schedule's a little different. They shouldn't be waking up at, you know, 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m. You know, they just shouldn't. Schools should be later to accommodate that. But yeah, this is not their choice, you know. So as I you know, as clear and almost annoyingly repetitive as I try to be, they're still students, and you can ask them. You can even ask them directly. Okay, name Do you need help with a works cited page in MLA format? No. Okay. Name B. Do you need help with a works cited page in MLA format, or do you know how to do it? No, teacher, I'm fine. Okay. Name C, blah, blah, blah. Now remember, students, I will grade you, and it's a very easy way to lose 20 points, which means if your presentation or essay is still super duper awesome, if you screw this up or you don't include it, you only get 80%. Does anybody need help? Remember, sources are important. This is a science class, you know. No, teacher, we got it. Yes, I've written it before. Yes, teacher, we've all written essays. We know how to do it. Cool. I'm glad I don't have to teach this because I'm not the English teacher. And then they turn in just like a page of links, and the title of it is sources, and they're all done in bullet points. And I mean, what do you want from me? You know, I went through it the first day. I gave you guys a whole week in class to do it. I gave you 2 weeks in advance, you know, to work on it. And that's what you turned in. Okay. So, you know, even the students that don't plagiarize, they still tend to really mess up the works cited page. And I tell them, you know, you might think it's weird that it's as important as the other topics. Like, they're all weighted 10 points each, so a total of 100 points. And I say, you might think it's weird that the information and then just the link, you know, that's equally weighted for a grade. The reason for that is, you know, we can't just make things up. We have to cite our sources. If you got it wrong, I can check. And if the source is wrong, I won't mark you down. You know, this is a science class. This is not your opinion. This is not an interpretation. This is not a journal. You have to show what you've done. So it's sad. It's sad to give somebody, because I hate giving low grades, especially if I know the student did really good work, but they just really did not include any of their sources correctly. You know, I'm sorry. You know, it's important stuff. You'll get marked down for it in college, and they might even just consider it straight up plagiarism, you know. So, yeah. Cozy up on that like button. See, I need a person to just be that person. Should I just add it as text on the thing? Can we do that? I'll just put it like up or something. Where am I at? I'm always like here, right? Next to this cat hair covered nonsense. Is there text? Let's see, can we put it? Let's see. What's the annoying way to say it? Smash that like button, y'all. What do we got? Like, sub, Patreon, Twitter. I don't know. Let's do that. Is that gonna work? Is that even showing? That's not even showing. Oh, now it can show up. There we go. How do we see? I'm not very good at this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Cool. Something like that. Sound good? That way it'll, ta-da. That works. Something like that. Because I'll just keep forgetting. Most folk I know don't enjoy citing sources, but it's essential. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Yeah, because I wasn't always, you know, I wasn't a big fan of it, and then I figured out, oh, it's just a format. Like, you don't have to guess. You know, I don't know what this is. It's way easier, right? Because now we have the internet. You know, we had a book, you know, back in the day, and you'd have to look through it. It was really annoying to try to figure it out or remember, you know, what it was. But now you can just type in how to cite MLA TikTok, and boom, there it goes. You know, it shows you how to put it on the works cited page, how to do the in-text citation. Very easy. How do you get the black background for the thumbnail? I open it up in an app called Snow that allows me to draw, and I just draw over the picture in black. So that's one of the reasons it's easier just to keep the hair like this, because I don't have to try to do it. But yeah, so all of the thumbnails that I make, I have to draw over them to make them, which is, it takes, I don't know, it takes a solid, this one took like 5 or 6 minutes just to do that. So, especially because I'm wearing these twisties today, so that's why. Oh, from the bow of the boat. Okay, Gotcha. Great look today, reminds me of an exchange student. Yeah, this is new. I wanted to just see how it wore, and then because the texture's a little, I was a little iffy on it, but it's fine. There's certain things like I'll buy it and then I realize that I can't wear it because of the texture, and I just have to give it away, like donate it. And then this, it's just getting easier to cover up my hair, because we talked about that I'm losing my hair, so it's just getting easier. I don't know, so yeah. So that's the idea. It's kind of late for you, right, Sugar? Why are you up? Oh, you're like always able to make these. Why are you up so late? That's my question. Do you have just like a very like different, like non-traditional work schedule, or you know what's going on? So Hero said they need a time machine. That's actually a question. If you guys could go backwards in time or forwards in time, let's say 1,000 years, and you're guaranteed to be okay. Like you'll be safe, you can speak the language, you'll have adequate money, you'll have a place to stay, so you're safe. Would you go forward or backwards in time? Miss my atheist videos, please bring them back. Do you have any specific requests? Because we did the Apocrypha stuff. I guess that's not atheist, right? That is religious. Do you have any specific like requests or questions? I think one of the problems that I run into is I feel like a lot of the other atheist channels do a great job covering some of these things. And it's just like, well, you know, why would I do that? What can I add to it? So if I can't think of something significant to add to it, I don't just want to make a video saying the same stuff. But I should just redo a lot of my old videos instead of just, I got to try to go through them and see if they are okay. Unless somebody else wants to do that for me. Oh, no, I can't ask somebody else to do that. Howdy, Chemo. I would go forward to know what's coming, okay? No, I mean, you have to stay there. Sorry. In the time machine, you live there now. I'd rather live in the past times, but not like too far back. See, because I wonder if you go in the past and you maybe bring some books or something about, I don't know, electronic stuff. I think that'd be a good idea. That's what I think, yeah. Wow, tastes so good. Hello. Wow, you sound like a very like official channel. Maybe we should, like, do you live in Seoul or in Korea? Because maybe we could get together and like do a group video just eating stuff. Yes, I did eat pig uterus. Yes. It was like a crunchy marshmallow. It was very like boing boing, kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Like it bounced your teeth back. It was very strange, but no flavor. I was very surprised because you can taste the difference between pig intestines and beef intestines. They still have that, piggy quality to them, right? That porkiness. This had none of that. It was just like, I don't know, it was so tasteless. Yeah, it was too bad. I know, finally another stream. I have been in and out of the hospital. I got to go back for a biopsy. But before I go for a biopsy, I have to go in advance, like a day or two, to have a COVID test. So that's exciting. Missing a lot of work for that. Not really a lot of work, but because I'm trying to schedule it as much as I can towards the end of the workday where I don't have students. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, so that's exciting. You live in Seoul. I remember binge watching those food videos. If you're in Seoul, you know what? Why don't you? You have Kakao Talk. You must have Kakao Talk, right? You must have it. Just a second. If you have a Kekko ID that you don't mind sharing, then you can share that and I can find it here. Let me see. I have to reply because I just opened Kakao Talk, but then now I have to reply to this thing because it was there. That's about tutoring because I still have to tutor today. So, all right. Let's see. If I had to stay, I'd go forward in time. Would be helpful to take a bunch of textbooks and tools from the past, but they might be rejected. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I would bring some of that. Can you imagine going forward in time and then it's worse? Like it's less technologically advanced. Oh, that would be awful. That would be awful. My brother was telling me about this this book he has. It was written by the researchers that were trying to figure out how to do radar, like during World War II. And he said that they included some stuff that they wanted to keep researching, but the government was like, we're not funding this anymore because all we care about is the application for the military. We don't care about the rest of the application that you guys could have for this. So they said that they wrote it down basically for future generations. And so he was just reading it and telling me about it. And I thought, wow, that's super cool. So yeah, maybe one of those. Yeah. You had a sandwich review video, which included one of the funniest jokes. Do you remember what the joke was? I don't remember. I don't even remember eating a sandwich. What kind of sandwich would I have done a video on? Was it like one of those cream sandwiches? I don't know. Kind of like menudo texture. No, because the menudo is going to have the tripe. It's going to have the intestines, and that's different. Like they have something like that in Korea. Maybe it tastes so good and I can enjoy that. It's called 내장국. So it's like organs stew basically. So that I think would be the closest to menudo, except there's no cilantro, no lime. But it's a very hearty stew, and then you can get it with congealed like blood cubes in there as well. Which they taste better than they sound. So, no, I think that would be the menudo texture. But these, like the uterus was like, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. You know that like almost a bounce back from when you're eating, like imagine eating a really big marshmallow and biting into it and how it would like push your teeth back open, like a bounce, like that. Except it was also kind of crunchy. It was unique. That I don't know how to describe it other than that. It was quite unique. Go forward in its idiocracy, nightmare stuff. I know. Wouldn't that be horrible? I love organ meats. They're so good, but you're gonna get the gout. Last vid I saw was talking long form about aliens. I think, yeah, that was fun. I had fun with that. For this time, and so for those of you that are not on the Discord, and I should get that link ready to rock and ready to roll. So for those of you that are not on the Discord or follow me on any other social media, I would like to do a live stream on Halloween. So that's gonna be Sunday, so it's my normal time. It just happens to be Halloween, and I want to read any weird, paranormal, whatever you want to call them, stories that you guys have. So, we're not saying that aliens are real or anything like that, but we are, just any strange story. So that, and I'll share 2 of mine. So that'll be fun. So if you do want to send me that, you can send me that if you go to the Discord, and then maybe DM it to me. That might be easier. Yeah. My grandma used to make awesome menudo when I was young. Can't really eat them anymore because no one wants to make it the same. That's the problem. A lot of the stuff I ate when I first came to Korea was in the area that I was at, of course, and it was really countryside kind of stuff. You know, I can't show my tattoos at school, but nobody cares if I walk around showing, you know, with my tattoos out off work, because, you know, the region's so big, and it's very unlikely that anyone's going to see me and recognize me. And also, who cares? It's just tattoos. You're off work. It's your own time. And that's how it's been everywhere I've lived, except for this place. So even when I was walking around town, everybody knew, because there were so few foreigners, everybody knew where I worked. They knew which teacher I was, whatever. And you know, so I had to always cover up because they cared. Like, they were rather conservative. Yeah, so I always had to cover up my tattoos there. So it was really rural. Best food. Of course. And that's also where I got the pig uterus, because the people who owned that restaurant owned a pig farm. There's other places like that too. So if Tastes So Good is still here, I could take you there, and then we could go try some of that stuff. That'd be fun, I think. It was a cheesy pun. Okay, it was when I see, Chris, when I was in Australia. Yes. Hello, Michael. I have not been well, but I'm feeling moderately better enough to make a video. My outfit looks great. Thanks. It's my first time wearing this particular thing. When I was in North America, I always saw strange events happening on Halloween. Very bizarre. Can you give me an example of that? You're just multitasking at work. I know. I got a day off, but I know some of y'all, we gotta be still working. I mean, it's the same time. It's 12. I was just wondering what your cacao ID is. Yeah. I've been having beef heart well trimmed and cooking it like steak. It's fantastic. Beef tongue is also really good, but you can't cook it like a steak. It goes rubbery. Thank you. Okay, and so that's, by the way, it tastes so good. So I received it. Nobody else can see it, and that's fine, because I'm not sure if you want to be anonymous, but now that's fine. Add by ID. Gotta run. Yeah, I'll message you right now, actually, so because otherwise I'll forget. I'm seeing if it's searching. We got this internet somehow being slow just today. Come on, you. Unexpected network error. This is Korea. What? Okay. Let's see. Well, did it do it? Did it do it? I don't even know if it added. Come on. I'm sorry, you guys. If I don't, I will forget. Add. Cool. Okay. All right. Finito. Great. Well, this will be fun. Let's see. Don't eat pork, but they are very intuitive creatures. I saw them rooting around, sometimes digging and building natural barriers to mark their territory. They are super intelligent. That's one thing I don't really understand, this idea of, so there's, for those of you that haven't seen those videos, I have eaten dog meat while I'm here, and it's actually a little hard to come by. So this idea that, oh, Korean people eat dog, it's like a traditional thing, but most people don't eat it anymore because most people view dogs as a pet. But I've eaten it. So my view on eating meat, I wish I had empathy that could extend to non-human animals and just say that I don't want to eat them because of that. That being said, I don't understand when people will say these animals are okay to eat, but these other animals, oh no, I don't understand that. I just don't get it. Either it's okay to kill and consume, or it's not. That's kind of how I see it. Obviously, you don't want to do it to your own pet, right? But I never really understood that. So, whoop. So that being said, I don't understand people's argument of, well, we don't eat dogs because they're intelligent. Pigs are super intelligent too. They're right up there with dogs. So I don't understand why they don't. But yeah, I'm sure there's, you know, that statement I just made, I'm sure it will upset some people. It's just one of those things I can't feel. I think a lot of it is a feeling, and I don't have that feeling. I just can't. And I'm not saying, oh, it's a feeling, it's not cold hard logic. I'm not saying that. It's just I don't have that feeling. The only thing maybe is cats. Maybe. But I think if I was presented cat meat, I would be like, oh man. You know, I mean, I would eat people just to taste it. You know, so but at the same time, I also understand, you know, not eating meat, especially for somebody that you know is at a increased risk for cancer. Avoiding animal protein, it's great. It's cheaper. I feel better when I don't eat meat. It's better for the environment. All those other stuff. So there's like a lot of reasons for me to not eat meat, and I usually don't eat meat. I can't say that I'm vegan. I can say I'm mostly plant-based, I guess. I don't know. When I cook at home, I'm vegan. That's kind of how it is, yeah. Tongue is amazing. My butcher's about 20 meters away. Nice. Yeah, go get some odd meats today. I've never had sweetbreads. So if you can tell me how they taste. But otherwise, I think intestines, just grill them up. They're just really good. Yeah. Just make sure you clean them really well. Humans are peculiar about which animals to eat. I agree. Love the glasses. I like the glasses too. They're definitely smart among animals. Shame that bacon is so tasty. I don't like bacon. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's way too salty. I always preferred sausage. You know, when you get like that choice in a restaurant, do you want bacon or sausage with your breakfast thing? You know, I always got sausage. I really don't care for bacon. But Korean pork belly, it's thicker and it's not cured, and then you grill it, tastes much better. But even then, it's so fatty. I prefer the neck meat. Yeah. Let's see. If you were in a plane crash in a live situation, you'd have a bonfire going in 30 seconds. Right. It reminds me of that Kids in the Hall sketch where Dave Foley was playing a character who had to eat like his fellow passengers. And he was going on about how you don't understand, you weren't there. It was, you know, it's life or death. It's nothing any human wants to be, blah, blah, blah. And then the lawyer's like, right, but you were still on the runway. It was delayed by like an hour and you started eating people. So I'm just reminded of that. Oh man, Kids in the Hall was very good. Lee Lemon is the ultimate empiricist. I don't know about that. I think there are certain buttons that can be pressed with me. Which I'm of course I'm working on that, because there's certain things that from certain people, when it's said, the way that I react is not the way that I would like to react. It's almost like a response, just like a, what's it? I don't want to say reaction. Reflex. That's the word I'm looking for. Reflex. And I don't like that. So I have been working on that. I know you'd be willing to eat squid from one of Jupiter's satellites. I know. That's the first thing I thought. Well, the second thing I thought. The first one was like, oh, great. We're sending, probes out to Europa and Enceladus and stuff. Fantastic. Oh my gosh, what do we think we can find in there? I wonder if it's like some kind of cephalopod. I wonder how it tastes. Anytime we watch those deep sea, the Hadal zone, stuff, here are these, crazy looking isopods and stuff that live at the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, I wonder what they taste like. Or those clear animals, like the clear shrimp. I wonder if you cook them, do they gain color? So I wonder about that. Goat meat is good. Some people think eating goats is weird. Goat meat is good. That's the thing about dog meat. Just eat goat. It's like inferior goat. that's my opinion on it. It's inferior goat. Yeah, just goat meat's better. And it's some people don't like that background note that's also in goat dairy, like the goat milk or goat cheese. There's that goatee background. But I like it. I think it's what makes it good. When in North America, I always knew when someone was cooking it, it had a very peculiar smell. I agree with the pork. I remember I was doing some winter vacationing thing. Somebody that I knew had a cabin. It was like in the woods, you know, and you go and you're just with a bunch of people, whatever. And at the time I was vegan. I was like, I had read, and I was less skeptical at the time. I read that veganism could cure all these things, including what problem I have from the military. Okay, let's just try it. You know, so that's why I don't mind eating vegan, because I know it's cheaper. I know like what to cook and stuff. So anyway, I woke up, and one of the dogs had been, they were having a problem. The dog was getting older, and she kept peeing in the house. And so I woke up to this really strong smell of urine. Like she peed right in front of the space heater. And I was like, oh man. And so one of the people came to wake me up for breakfast, and I looked at them like, oh no, they're gonna yell at the dog again. And I just kind of waited, and they're like, yeah, so, you know, breakfast is ready and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you don't smell that? And they said, smell what? I'm like, it's a really, like, I'm very, you don't smell that? And they were like, I mean, they're cooking a sausage upstairs. That must be it. Like, after that, whenever meat was cooked, it a lot of times it smells like urine, smells like ammonia. But the way that meat is produced, like mass produced in the United States, is really not the best. And so there is some of that ammonia can get mixed in, especially for things like ground beef. So there is some of that urine kind of smell, yeah. Let's see. Goat is great, but it tastes of goat. If you like goat milk or goat cheese, the meat is lovely. Yeah, that's what I say. It's got that goatiness. If I died in a plane crash, I'd be very picky about who I'd allow to eat me. And then Chemo says your soul would be picky. Can you imagine that? Like, so you try to eat somebody, you know, out of necessity, and I don't know, they just like immediately rot. You try to touch them, like, nope. My friends know that if I'm dead, I'm cool with being eaten. My friends know that too, and there's plenty of me to go around. That's why you got to put on the muscle. You got to feed those friends, man. Halloween coming up has got me yearning to do something involving ceremony or ritual, something with tradition or meaning. I fairly strongly about dangers of superstition, though. Do you have ideas? So what is your feeling first about your feeling about the dangers of superstition? And then if you tell me that, I might be able to recommend something. When I worked at a farm in Canada, a pig came up to me and sniffed me and walked off. I wondered, what if pigs perceive us to be ugly and stinky? That had me laughing the whole day. I'm sure they do. Where's the baguette and the cigarette? It is off camera. No, I have a coconut milk latte. If I smell cat urine, I can't get it out of my nose for days, especially with a migraine. Oh, my cats, bless them. But, you know, they're little, you know, they're poop machines. They don't stop just because I got a migraine. So there are times when it's like, I'm literally like, as I'm trying to get rid of it, because I can't have it in the house. Otherwise it makes the migraine worse. So I have to like get closer to ground zero. And I always think that, I think of that Chernobyl, like elephant foot, you know what I'm talking about? And how like you don't want to get close to it. That's how I feel when you have a migraine and like this cat poo. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting the puke emoji. Sorry, you look French. No, I know. I just didn't have a joke back. That's all. I'm just wearing this. So before you came in, I mentioned I'm wearing it because I've been losing my hair, and so I'm trying to kind of cover that up, but also it's kind of cold today, so that's all. Hello, Darth. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this is better than a beanie, like more fashionable than a beanie, I think. I don't think I'd ski in it, but I think it's more fashionable than a beanie. Ripping off the plaster, get it done quick, exactly. If I was seated next to Lee on a flight and there was turbulence, I would turn around and Lee would already have the cutlery out and a bib for prepping. Don't die around Lee, exactly. Don't, because I will take it as an opportunity. Now, I'm not going to eat your entire corpse, okay? I still have to maintain this figure. But you'll be missing like a finger or a toe or something. Like I thought about that too, because you know you see these different kinds of dangers and stuff in war, you know, and so I thought to myself, okay, so when I'm deployed, what if something like that happens to me? I'd probably like, I would just, I'm curious to just taste it. I'm very curious, you know, it wouldn't be illegal, right? it's fine. I consented. I didn't hurt anybody, you know? So that, I mean, but I gave it some serious thought. Yeah, I would just, because if it's cooked, it's cooked. There's nothing they can do. They just got to amputate it anyway, and they won't let you eat it then. So that's my only chance. Let's see. I'm on point. I'm trying. See, I figure even if the worst comes to worst here and I have to get chemo and radiation and stuff, I've already got a bunch of wigs, you know. It doesn't mean it can't be fashionable. So I have a question for you. I just started training this year in April to build muscle. When you were in the military, how strenuous was your regimen? That is a great question. You would think, oh, it's a lot of exercise and whatever. It wasn't. I think we had formal exercise with PTs, physical training, 10 times, 8 times. It wasn't that much. But just the stuff you're doing all the time, and you're carrying so much stuff. You're walking, like you're marching really quickly, so it really stretches out your legs because you can't run. You're not allowed to like jog to keep up, so you have to just have these really long strides, so that it boosts, like it builds up all these little muscles that normally get ignored. But yeah, you're carrying other humans and stuff. It's a lot of that. I would say, like, for the military, you're not really wanting to build up muscle. You're wanting to you want to be as light as possible, but as strong as possible. You want to find that part where they intersect. You know, somebody like, I don't know how many bodybuilders you guys know. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? That's not a good Marine. But somebody like Bruce Lee, you know, because the other issue is that you have to be able to hide, you know, so if you're really big and bulky, that makes it difficult. But if you get hit, somebody's got to take you back. And it don't matter if you're 250 pounds of muscle or 250 pounds of fat, you're 250, okay? Nobody wants to drag you in your 250 butt. You know what I mean? So you want to stay as light as possible. So I would say, if there was like a more equivalent thing for that, I would say maybe some kind of physical labor, like you work construction or a lot of warehouse lifting, as opposed to using a forklift, but a lot of warehouse lifting, and that's what your job is through the day. Or for exercise, perhaps some kind of really strenuous yoga, I would say would also be a good idea for like a military build. Yeah. But if you want my regimen, sorry, is it the same? I'm not your English teacher. I teach social studies. I know regime for government stuff, but I've heard people use it. I don't know if they're misusing it or what. Anyway, so my lifting regimen was really different and tougher outside of the military than inside of boot camp. Yeah. So like it was basically the 5x5. And I also did abs, and then I also did running when I still could run. I would do 3 to 6 miles a day. Yeah. So very obsessive about it. Like obsessive. The psoas muscle is the filet mignon equivalent. Ooh, it really would be, wouldn't it? We couldn't grill pork when my dad was still alive because it triggered his PTSD. He was a USMC vet of Vietnam. I rarely eat it, even though he passed in 2001. Yeah, I would imagine, because I've heard it's very similar in smell. So definitely, definitely. Do you know what your dad's MOS was? I'm pretty sure she'd take out the marker and start naming the cuts of meat. I wouldn't even know. I would just name them. Like, this is going to be the tasty bit. The Lee Lemon look today is more of an exchange student mixed with anarchist intellectual at the Paris Commune here. Can we do one of these? We'll do like... It doesn't work when you take it out. Let's see. Don't get a cramp in your psoas. It's extremely harsh. Yeah, no thank you. If you have wigs, it might be the time to be a cosplayer and make that easy money. I'm so busy through the day. I don't know if I could just do that. I imagine that it must have been based on endurance and HIIT. Not really HIIT. I guess. I don't know. You just had to do stuff. I don't know how to describe it in boot camp other than that. You're just doing stuff all the time. Yeah. Constantly just doing stuff. I hear now they give you more time to eat. We didn't get time to eat. And then in the, you know, they would always comment on your body and stuff. And so, you know, a lot of us, you know, you stop eating or go to the bathroom right after you eat, that kind of thing. Yeah, eating disorders are really high in the military, really high. But I think now they give you time and they don't, like, they're not allowed to comment on your body, something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So having Eat Man's build is ideal. Exactly. You want to be Donnie Yen is really what you want to do. How about Billy Mills, Carlos Hathcock? Were they good Marines? I don't know who those guys are. I mean, regiment. That's what I thought. 5 of 5. That's what most powerlifters do. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do to get big, like as much bulk as I could put on. But then once I went to the military, it just was deleted. It was so weird too, because, you know, here I am doing pull-ups and stuff, which I had never been able to do. But when I flexed, I had zero peak to my muscle at all. I felt like I'd lost so much muscle, but obviously I gained so much muscle, but I felt like I really lost it. My waist and stuff, everything like went down, but my weight didn't go down. So I went in and I think I was like a size 12. And then I came out as a size 6, but I was still at my weight max. Like, I'm a heavy person. So my weight, like everybody else is losing at least 10 pounds for the 3 months that we're in, with some people losing 15, 20, 25. I lost 0. And it's just very strange. Genetics be weird. Genetics be weird. Recite a beatnik poem. I don't know. What can I say for beatnik poem? I can't even think. I'm sorry. I'm getting a migraine like right now, so I can't think. Sorry. Were you deployed to Iraq? I wasn't deployed to anywhere. No. The migraine I'm talking about is a secondary condition to the disability I got in the military. So I was medically discharged. Yeah. I'd let you have a bit of my abs if I get some of your shoulder or bicep. You can have this because it's going to leave. And you know, because you're on Patreon, you know it's going to leave. Yeah, I can't lift anymore. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that publicly. I'm not allowed to lift anymore. So I'm not sure if I'm just going to not lift and then lift everything else. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's see. I consider the 5-3-1 or a variant for strength training. Yeah, it really depends on what you're doing. And I'm happy to help you. Like, I was a personal trainer, so I'm happy to help, like, put together a program based on what you want. So Darth, if you want to just hit me up on Discord via DM. Yeah. Are these the same fab glasses from Saturday? Are they? I don't know if they are. I think I was wearing the square pink ones. I really don't remember. Oh my goodness. Leg press every day? No, I can't. Because that's the thing. I still can't work out very heavily these days just because of my medical problems anyway. I never actually enjoyed lifting weights. I never cared for it. But since my friend introduced me, I'm very passionate about it. It's so addicting, isn't it? It's amazing. Not for nothing, but what went on in what they call the crucible? A lot of late nights, early mornings. It's basically all the stuff you've been trained, just like condensed into, what is it, 48 or 50 something hours. A lot of marching to get there, a lot of marching to get back. You got all your gear and stuff, and you know, there's like a simulation for you know, a firefight, which is like gunfire. There's simulation for that, and like you got to crawl across, but you have to do it quickly. And then if there's flares get set off, so it's at night, and like flares get set off every so often. You have to like flatten yourself. I'm trying to remember exactly. There's just a lot of courses that you got to run through. I don't remember if we did a rappel tower again, because we had to do a rappel tower. I don't think we had to do one again. We may have had to do like a speed drop, like if we were getting off of a helicopter. But there was like different things. BZO, that was another one you had to find, I believe, because I know we did it in, there's another, like after you finish training, you have to go to other type of training where you get like basic infantry skills, because every Marine has to have basic infantry skills. So I don't remember if we just did it at the second one or if we did it in the Crucible as well, but you have to find something called your Battlefield Zero. So your rifle is your rifle, and you just kind of connect with it, right? And so all the settings are based on you. So when you're ready to fire, you don't have to adjust anything. With a Battlefield Zero, it's basically you get a rifle that's not yours, it's not set for you, and you have to figure out how to fire and then what to adjust, so that way you can accurately fire it, even though it's not yours. So you have to learn how to do stuff like that. It's just tiring. Really, that's really what it is. So you know all this stuff already. It's tiring. You're kind of amped. You get these MREs instead, which are these meals ready to eat. And inside of the MREs, some of them have packets of instant coffee. You don't get coffee in boot camp. And so we could have it then, and nobody wanted it because it tastes terrible. So I used to take them, and I would just, I mean, who wants to taste it? So I would just put them here, like the coffee grounds, and just let it, and you know, you're not having caffeine for like, you know, 12 weeks. So suddenly you're just like, yeah, let's do stuff. So I just remember that time. It was really cold because of the time of year. The night sky was very beautiful, and it was just a lot of marching, a lot of just doing stuff, and just like having way too much energy. That's what I remember. I have some muscle now, but I also have some fat because I'm bulking. I would avoid bulking unless you're like gonna compete, because you gotta cut as well. I would just try to build as much as you can with whatever your diet was. You know, tweak your diet and stuff, but I would just make sure to, because when you, at least for me, and so maybe this is very biased, okay, but at least for me, I could look bulky, great, and then I got it cut. Oh my gosh, I just lost a bunch of muscle, because you lose fat and you lose muscle size, you know. And in my case, with all this estrogen, every little bit of muscle I can gain is like, oh, I have to hold on to it, you know, because it's harder to build with estrogen. Estrogen makes you activate more satellite cells. So if you're doing like a preacher curl, which really isolates your biceps, and you have more testosterone, it'll build the bicep. Like it'll build that peak, which is the prime mover, is kind of what it's called. But if you have more estrogen, what it does is it activates all of these nearby muscles called satellite cells. So instead of building this like bump, you build the whole thing at the same time. And that's why you could find, like, you can see a person who has more estrogen, and that person may not look very beefy, but they're really strong, and they might be able to do, like, a lot of the guys in the gym, you know, I don't look very big, but I was lifting in some cases more than they were with some lifts. And so they were really like it just really threw him for a loop. And for me, I was upset because they looked bigger than I did, and yet I was stronger than them, and I got really frustrated because I wanted to get big because I wanted to compete. So I was really frustrated with that, yeah. But so for me, the idea of like cutting means I have to lose muscle. I just don't. So I never wanted to really do that. Yeah. The only time I would try to bulk was after my sibling died and I just started binge eating again. And I said, well, if I'm going to be doing this, we're going to at least turn it into something, you know. I braised some beef short ribs earlier in the week. First time I've done it. They're amazing and super cheap as well. Yeah, you know, cheap cuts of meat, just go for it, man. Let's see. Your shoulder is involved in bloody everything. I know. Your shoulder is like everything. Everything. No, but apparently I have a birth defect. And so these bones are too close together. And just over time with the lifting and stuff, it just started ripping up this tendon. And so there were these two really big like rips in there. And the doctor said, yeah, you just got to knot. Otherwise, it's going to just, your tendon's going to, goodbye, you know? Yeah. So the doc had also told me that he used to be really active too, and he had the same problem. So it made me feel at least he understood what I was going through. But yeah, it's not great. But at the same time, I thought, you know what? I had a birth defect and I still did the military, so kind of cool, you know. I don't know what MOS he was, but he was 11th Transport Battalion. Good chance he was Motor T. Yeah. Gumming coffee, exactly. The Folgers Crystal Chaw, exactly. You don't spit anything out, though. You just want to make sure to keep all of that in. Let's see. I don't know about the Hebrew t-shirt. I'm not sure what you mean there, Hiram. But yeah, no, I am just a dork, and maybe I will be a bald dork in the future. Yes. Yeah, men have an easier time due to higher levels of testosterone. Absolutely. For anybody that is curious, yes, I wanted to get as big as I could naturally, and then I had absolutely no qualms about juicing later. Yeah. Let's see. Find your balance and adjust what you want. If you eat more, you realize you will put on weight. If you like the idea of getting more muscle and fat, that is fine. Yeah, that's the thing is, you know, I didn't like the idea because I can eat. I don't know about you. Some people have a hard time eating enough, so they want to make sure to do like a proper bulk because they typically don't eat enough, so they got to do the shakes and stuff. For me, I have an issue with binge eating, so I don't have a problem just eating. So in my case, when it was like, oh yeah, I can do a bulk, I was just gonna get fat. That's all that was gonna happen. It was like, yeah, free reign to just eat whatever. You know, back when I used to be able to run, definitely was able to kind of offset that, and that was really great. And I dropped a lot of weight because I used to be about nearing 300 pounds, which I think in kilos is like 137 kilos. So you know, I dropped a ton of weight pretty quickly once I started getting myself together. But I still did eat a lot, but it was only like I had rules about which food I could eat. It had to, you know, nothing fried. The sodium had to be a certain level. No added sugar, but natural sugar was okay. Like if it was fruit, but if you're gonna have a fruit, then you should have a juice, no, but a smoothie, yes, because it's got the fiber still. Like I had all these rules about it, but I still ate a ton of food. So like a breakfast for me would be like 2 cups, like a tub of non-fat cottage cheese and like a whole papaya or something, like half a pineapple, something like that. I just ate a huge amount of food, but I was also lifting a lot. I was exercising at my highest, I would say 17 sessions a week for exercise. Yeah. So I guess that's why I was able to lose that. But then, of course, once you get those medical problems setting in, the amount of food I was eating did not adjust at first. And so I had put on a bunch of weight, yeah, at first. So that sucked. Let's see. Are you an East Coast or West Coast Marine? If too personal, just ignore. So all female Marines are East Coast, all of them. So I had the sand fleas, you know, where you blow your nose at the end of the day and it comes out black. So that was what we got. Also, I never knew you could have really cold weather and it's humid. I didn't know that, and so I was very frustrated to learn that it was a thing in the South. Let's see. Certainly, testosterone enables men to acquire muscle mass faster, but it doesn't mean that women can't build muscle. I don't know if it's muscle mass. I would say muscle peak. But yeah, it would also be muscle mass. Because on average, women are, if you have more estrogen, because I want to be careful with that word, because it doesn't really matter if you identify as a woman, if you're transgender or whatever. It more matters your balance of estrogen and testosterone. So that's why I'm phrasing it so specifically. So if you have more estrogen, it's like a rate of like half. So if you're doing everything perfectly, perfect sleeping, perfect diet, perfect exercise, perfect genetics, if you have more estrogen, you build at half the rate as somebody who has more testosterone. And it's just frustrating. Meow, meow, back to you. So that's how I talk to my cats. Meow, meow, meow. Love steak, excellent source of protein. I would say there's better sources of protein. I would say egg whites are better sources. I would say if you are male, I would also recommend soy over dairy, just because of the research on prostate cancer. Yeah. Soon my VA doctor will sign a note to buy an e-trike. Nice. Congratulations. Sorry, my voice. All my life I was underweight. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so you have the opposite problem as I do. All my life I was like morbidly obese. Due to not eating enough due to long COVID, I lost 34 pounds. And the VA doctor, yeah, that sounds, yeah, long COVID is awful, and I'm sorry you're dealing with that. Yeah. I don't know why, like, people keep focusing on the death rate so much, because for most people, they're not going to die, but you are at a much higher percent chance or risk of getting long SARS, like long COVID. And we knew this is SARS-2, and we had long SARS before. Why don't we talk about it more? So I do emphasize that to my students, because sometimes they don't really take it so seriously, like their nose will be hanging out, or this one student, like, he will take his mask off and sneeze, and then he'll put it back, and I'm just like losing my mind. So, you know, I make him like sanitize everything around him, and once I really struck down this kid, like he stopped. But I don't have him normally. I think if I did, he would definitely have stopped already. But they don't really take it seriously because they're not in that like high risk group of death. And I'm like, yeah, well, do you guys want to have a problem where you can't even walk for 6 minutes? Not even uphill, not running, just walk for 6 minutes because you can't breathe. You know, all the tasty things you like to eat, you just can't enjoy that anymore. Is that what you want? Because that's the high risk that you're at, you know, like 33%. Yeah. And hi, Josh. After the second shot, my appetite came back. Oh, that's good. Can't stop eating since I moved back into my house and been cooking for myself. I should stop making nice food, go bland, eat less. You can. The other option is to, it's called, there was a book called Volumetrics. Look it up, but if it's not that, then I don't know. But basically it's eating high volume, low calorie. So that's what I do, because I still want to binge eat. That never goes away, I don't think, based on what I understand of the research. So I will eat, although these days it's been easier not to eat, which is another reason I'm getting checked for cancer. So, you know, it's like, I don't want to eat at all. That means there's something wrong, you know, that's how I know. But, yeah, so I'll have just a lot of broccoli, or like a bunch of cabbage, And then you can put whatever with it, you know, so you can have maybe half a serving of whatever you're normally going to eat for your ribeye, for example, or your short ribs or whatever. But then put it on and mix it really well into the cabbage. The cabbage gets covered in that flavor. You can add a sauce or something to it. Just be careful with some of the sauces are really calorific. And then you just enjoy it. I like to do spaghetti sauce. I really like to do that. It's pretty low calorie for what it is. Tastes really nice. Don't need to use a ton of it. So then you have like this huge amount of food and it tastes really good. But as far as the calories, it's not going to murder you. So that's what I do. I really like the crucifers. So I like the cruciferous vegetables. So, you know, like the cabbage family. So the broccoli and the kale and the cauliflower is really good in an air fryer. You'll love it. And Brussels sprouts. Those are also really good in an air fryer. So I tend to make that, and then I'll have like some, you know, vegan meat or something with it, some tofu or something with it. Yeah, that's what I tend to do. Soy protein isolate, I like good. Yeah, stick with that as opposed to the whey protein. Again, it's just from what I've read about the just how it's the study. If you look up, so you don't have to take my word for it in my bad memory, soy versus dairy prostate cancer research. If you look up some studies on that, then you'll see why I recommend that. Lee almost became the Hulkster, but had to tone it down. I say that my body broke down trying to contain this much awesome. Let's see. After the second shot, read that already. I'm voting for all the doggies and kitties in the election. Good. My e-trike would allow me to not be on mass transit. Also good. The media tends to focus on the mortality rate for most everything. Take car accidents, for example. Even though you're far more likely to be maimed for life, they tend to only report deaths. That's true. Lunch break, where I live in Korea. So it's not my lunch break anymore, but that's just what it was called. It's 12:41 p.m. here. I did a 40-day water fast. My appetite is back to where you want to eat all the time. It's pissing me off. Yes, I should buy some broccoli. Brussels sprouts are the best. Yeah, that's the problem. I also have to buy a lot of stuff on iHerb just because I am in Korea. I can't just like go to a Walmart and buy some of these. So I don't know if they exist at Walmart or some other place where you shop for groceries. But you can get like these seasoning blends and they don't have salt, or they may have salt. Just depends on how much sodium you're looking to have or not have. Those are really good and like lower calorie to add to this stuff. So I've got like honey mustard is kind of high up there for calories, but a honey mustard seasoning a lot lower. So I have this honey mustard seasoning and I put it onto just like everything. It's really good. And then there's another like a Hawaiian salt blend. It's like a Kahlua blend or some, I don't remember exactly, but again, it's on iHerb. Black salt is another one. It's got a really good smoky taste, and just adding just that is just great. So those are some ways to kind of get around adding a bunch of sauces and dressings, which can add a bunch of calories and kind of negate, you know, what you're trying to do with this high volume food, you know. Let's see. I also learned how valuable fiber intake was, since I'm consuming about 140 grams of protein per day. Very constipating. Absolutely is. It's super constipating. I would recommend, if you don't do it already, adding some fiber powder to your protein shakes. So if you have a protein powder, also add a serving of the fiber powder. 2 pieces of advice, like serious advice. Number 1, you have to consume the protein drink right there, especially if you do something like psyllium husk. It thickens up, it makes a nice texture, but if you leave it like even for 5 minutes, it'll get too thick and you'll be eating it with a spoon, and it's really, I don't think it's very pleasant anyway. The other thing you have to do is you have to drink lots of water. Otherwise, it will constipate you. It'll just block up your system. So do that for like 1 protein shake a day. Don't go crazy, because you can overdo it with fiber, especially when you do get it in that powder. So that's what I would do. And also, if you notice you're doing a lot of fruit juice, switch that for fruit smoothie or fruit fruit. So that's another way to get it in there. So hopefully, yeah, that'll help you out. But I like the psyllium husk fiber. I think it's good. It doesn't add any sweetness. There's also something called glucomannan, but I think that's more to make you feel fuller. But I think it does work as a fiber supplement as well. There's other stuff too. There's like this, I forget exactly what it's called, but they like Metamucil is the name brand. That's pretty common, but I find it's very gritty when you add it to a protein shake. If you add like creatine monohydrate to a protein shake and that grittiness doesn't bother you, yeah, add the Metamucil there. You won't have that gumminess problem. Otherwise, the psyllium husk is really good. You can also add it to other stuff if you're making, what are you making? Like pancakes or something. You can make it with that. If you're eating oatmeal, you can add like a, you know, like a teaspoon of it to your oatmeal to really increase the fiber. Even the Fiber One bars, because you're not as worried about calories and that kind of stuff. But the Fiber One bars are also pretty low. Just be careful because they taste like a candy bar almost. So you might, oh, I'll have another one. Oh, they're kind of healthy. I know some people that have done that. They ate like 3 or 4 of them and they had a really high meat diet before and they thought this is a good way to get fiber in my diet, and it just totally constipated them. So again, you really need to drink a lot of water with it. You got to drink more water. So want to just have some dates. They taste great and have a ton of fiber. That's an option, dates or prunes, but not everybody likes them. That's all. Additionally, for something like a date, if Darth isn't used to snacking, that's going to be a little difficult to just start snacking. So I'm thinking something they already do, which would be drinking a protein shake and then just adding to it. So that's kind of how I tend to approach modifying people's diets. It's what are you already doing? What can we do to just add to it, as opposed to putting in like a totally different thing. So if they don't mention that they snack, I'm not going to recommend a snack, that kind of thing. Yeah. The one part of Fiber One is the most important part. Yeah. They're good though. Finally, iHerb carried them. Oh my gosh. So I finally get to have them. The cinnamon ones keep selling out, so I haven't been able to buy those yet, but I'm really excited. Managed to sprout some date seeds. That's cool. Did you eat the sprout? Because I mean, I don't know what you'd use them for otherwise. Are you growing the dates? Because that would be cool too if you're growing dates. So, but yeah, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to talk about today, so I'm glad that we've got a bunch of topics going. My diet is frozen pizza and Diet Coke. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. You're doing houseplants. I am so bad at houseplants. I always get the ones that are like, oh no, nobody can kill it. These are impossible to kill. And then they die. I'm just like, I have a black thumb. I found these fruit gummies that are crafted from pureed fruit, 4 grams of fiber per 7 gummies. That sounds pretty great. Yeah. If you're digging them, then, you know, stick with them. But again, if you're finding it's not facilitating the poops that you would hope, drink more water. Yeah. My town almost flooded this week. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Was the infrastructure and stuff okay? I mean, obviously the people, I'm assuming they're okay, but was the infrastructure okay? Okay, the flood defense is held. That's good. I'd love to grow strawberries and raspberries in the yard. Can't put in the time. It's not the right climate. Yeah, there's a couple elderly people that grow stuff. So like most people in Korea live in an apartment. Even when someone says a house, really, they're talking like we would say it's an apartment. But they bought the apartment. That's the biggest difference. So we have like in the area, there's grass and some trees, which is really great. So we have that, and there's just some elderly people that grow stuff, and I've just thought maybe I could do that too, but I just kill everything. I don't know why. I try to follow the rules and then it just dies. And I thought it was my cats, and so I had something at work and it died. It was rosemary. I heard you can't even kill rosemary. It just died. I was very sad about this. Very sad. Running, when you did it, did you actually enjoy it? I was surprised to find that I could enjoy it. And you say that you enjoy it, but you kind of suck at it. So what I did was I followed a running program from my recruiter. On day one, you just have a distance and you're just doing it for timed runs. So you'll choose a distance, and for the rest of the week, you're using the versions of that distance. So let's say it's 2 miles. Okay. So you just do 2 miles and you check your time, you know, whatever you need to do, run, walk, jog, whatever. Day 2 is you double the distance. So you're doing 4 miles and you just go. You're not timing it or anything. The whole point is just to get your body moving that far. That's it. Of course you want to jog or run, but if you have to slow down and walk, you do that. For me, when I was doing those days, I would put in, I'd have a lot of different tempo music. Excuse me. A lot of different tempo music, and I would just follow the tempo. That's all I did. So you'd have, you know, one was, you know, really up tempo, then there's another that's like much slower. Then you have something that's like super fast, like some metal. And then after that, it's like a ballad or something really slow. So that way it would be easier for me to say, okay, I'm feeling the burn, right? But I know the song is going to end in like 30 seconds. I can last that long. So it was just a way to kind of keep myself going. You can also do that with biking stuff. Day 3, you do the same distance as day 1, but you do sprint intervals. So you will start off jogging for 2 minutes, and then you sprint as fast as you can for 1 to 200 meters. And then you go back to jogging for 2 minutes and then repeat. So you just do that. That's your thing. Day 4 was hill sprints. So you have to find a hill and you sprint up, again, about 200 meters, and then you jog back down, wait for, you rest 1 minute or half a minute to 1 minute, and then do it again. You do that like 10 times. Bonus if you jog out there. And then day 5 is your rest day. That's it. So it's a timed run, a long run, sprint intervals, and hill sprints. That's it. And you can mix them up, so you can do them in a different order. But doing that, it was really easy to look forward to something because it wasn't the same as yesterday. And so it made it a lot easier to look forward to doing that run. Yeah. You know, because sometimes you feel like, oh, I feel so lazy. Oh, but today's just hill sprints. You know, I'm not going to be running for 4 miles, you know, that kind of thing. Or I'm feeling kind of lazy, but I got to run 4 miles. That's okay. I'll just take it slow because that's not the point, you know. But the lazy one for the timed run, well, at least it can be fast, right? Because that's the whole point, is to make it as fast as possible. So at least I'll be done quickly, and then I can just go back and be lazy, you know. So that was a nice thing. There was always a benefit to it. Yeah. I need to grow the plants. Let it grow. Stop eating it before it's grown. That's my problem. That's my problem if I try to grow cilantro. I'm just like, oh, I see some little bit. Oh, there's another. That's definitely my problem with cilantro. Basil too. I just love that taste of fresh basil. But Hidden Worlds, if you want to message me, again, here's the link to the Discord, and you can DM me if you want that written down or something, or have questions about it specifically. But otherwise, yeah, I am gonna go. I'm surprised I lasted this long, but I'm gonna go. What do I think about cycling? In what sense? In what sense? I mean, if you like cycling, you like cycling, you know. I did running because I had to run as part of my like physical fitness test in the military, and I just liked it. I got used to it, and then now I have to use like an exercise bike because I can't run anymore. So I like cycling. I like it. And the same stuff that you can do for the running, you can do it for the cycling. So you can have a day where you do a speed, a distance, intervals, and the hill sprints, you just replace it with the increasing the resistance. So if you increase the resistance for, instead of, 100 to 200 meters, you do it for like 30 seconds. So you increase the resistance and you pedal as fast as you can, and then you turn it back down. And then for 2 minutes, you're doing kind of jogging, slower pace. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Oh, you're a cyclist. No, I mean, yeah, if you, that's the thing. If you like cycling, then cycle. There's no wrong way to enjoy cardio. Yeah. Do you think it's a fair assumption to make the most professional bodybuilders and powerlifters are probably taking performance enhancement drugs? Yes, unless it's a natural competition. But even then, you're on a very specific regimen of just non-steroid stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's an issue personally. I never had a problem with that idea of anabolic steroids. I never had a problem with that. Because for steroids, you have to exercise. You have to. Otherwise, you just gain fat. You have to exercise. You have to exercise more. So it's like when you see somebody who's super huge and yeah, they're on steroids, okay, but it's not like they're just injecting themselves and then going to bed, or just like sit watching Netflix. You know what I mean? They're working out harder, and that's all that really it does, is it basically makes it so you can get that benefit from working out more, as opposed to it's making it harder for your body to repair itself. So you're still doing exercise. You're doing more exercise. These guys and gals, they're in the gym 4 to 6 hours a day. So it's not like a cheat. And if that's your job, yeah, 4 to 6 hours a day, plus you woke up several times in the middle of the night to make sure you're drinking protein shakes in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times, and all of that. The whole point is really to see that, at least what I personally believed, to see how far you can push the human body. How far can you take it? And now that I can't lift, I worry that I might go in the other direction and try to see how small I can get. And that's one thing I'm trying to not fall into. Because I like the idea of pushing the body to extremes. I like that idea. So bodybuilding's never about strength. It's definitely not about beauty, aesthetics. It's about how far can you push the human body. It's not healthy. It's not about health. People say, oh, it's not healthy. Oh, it looks gross. Oh, it's what? You're missing the point. How far can you push yourself? That's the point. So doing stuff like steroids just makes sense in that case. But if you want to, show off how great your genetics are, yeah, then you go to a natural competition. Cool. If you, but I don't know. If you're gonna push your body, push it. I don't know. So that's just my thoughts on it. Obviously, I'm not recommending steroids. They're illegal. Obviously, I'm not recommending them. But that's just kind of my philosophy on it, But yeah. Can you do something like juggling or complicated balance? No, not balance. Can't. That's too much nerve action. Sleight of hand, magic touch. Sleight of hand magic is a tough physical challenge. I would agree. It would probably be a tough physical challenge. I'm trying to see if I can do more with flexibility. I've never been flexible, and I've never been skinny. So I've thought, if I got to lose my muscle, maybe now is the time to it's a new body chapter in my life. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I still got to deal with binge eating, so I don't even know if it's reasonable for me to set that as a goal. But then again, got to push the body. I'm interested in doing that. Just what can the body accomplish? That's why it's like, I like the idea of like a steroid-free Olympics, because I want to see what the human body can accomplish. But then I also think it would be really cool to have a steroid Olympics to see how far it can really go. So I think that'd be really cool. But again, that's just my personal, like, I don't think steroids should be illegal, but that's I guess a conversation for another day. Yeah, I don't think they should be illegal. I mean, they're not healthy, but I don't think they should be illegal, you know. But yeah, those times are past me, unfortunately. Because if I did take steroids, all I do is get fat, and that ain't it. So that's yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Michael Phelps on shark testosterone. Yeah, exactly. You know, we see what he can do without it. What could he do with it? You know, what kind of records could be smashed? You could have like a steroid record and like a natural record. You know, why not? But the guys and gals that are doing the steroids, if steroids didn't exist, they'd still be bigger. They'd still be the biggest ones. You know what I mean? They'd still be the fastest runners. They would still be the best gymnasts, you know. Steroids enhances what you can do. It doesn't make it so, like, it doesn't compensate for lacking genetics or a bad workout regimen, you know. So if you take two people and person A is stronger than person B, and you put them both on steroids, person A is still going to be stronger than person B. Same thing with speed, you know, with runners, with cycling, with swimming. The genetics is still going to win out. And, you know, that's interesting, but it's still going to win out. So you'd still need to have those, like you'd still have to have that person who's exceptional for the steroid Olympics, and then put them on steroids. Because if you had like a regular person, like a less than exceptional person, and put them on steroids, they wouldn't do well in the steroids Olympics. Yeah, there would be no point. It's like, oh, who cares? You know, they might get up to the exceptional person's speed. Like, who cares? You know, for me, I'm not a good runner, so if I started doing that and supplementing with steroids, maybe I'm, you know, still slower than some of the Olympic runners that are, you know, natural. You know what I mean? So there would be no point for somebody like me to do the steroid Olympics as a runner. So you still would need the best, which is, again, why I don't see why it's illegal. I don't know. But that's, I guess, a conversation for a different day. You know what I mean? I feel like my voice changed in tone, like nostalgia tone maybe. Is that my nostalgia tone? I don't know. But yeah, thanks guys for joining me. And again, please, you know, pop into the Discord and DM me any weird, unexplained stories that you have. And you can stay anonymous, that's fine. You don't have to be anonymous, that's also fine. I can put links to, you know, your social media, whatever. But we're not saying, oh yeah, you totally had an encounter with a ghost and you just believe in ghosts, you know, we're not saying that. And if you do believe in ghosts or whatever, you know, shadow people, whatever, we're not going to discount it. So it's, you know, here, Lee, let me tell you my ghost story. And then I'm not going to say, ha ha ha, this person's so silly, they believe in ghosts, here's what they think happened. You know, it's not going to be like that. It's just telling the story. So that's the Halloween live stream, is just going to be telling stories. If we don't get enough, I'll find some spooky stories and just read them anyway. And like I said, I've got 2 of mine to share. So I was, I guess 3 of mine to share. 4 of mine to share. We'll do 4, okay? One of them's quite short, but we'll do 4. So yeah, that'll be fun. I hope. I'm thinking of dressing up as a migraine. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I have some ideas on how I'm gonna do it. So I'm thinking of dressing up as a migraine, because that's very scary to me. So let's see. It shouldn't, but I think the side effects need to be transparently outlined to anyone who considers taking them. Oh, absolutely. But same with anything, right? So I don't see why we treat them so differently. You know, we let people take all kinds of stuff and just say, hey, you could have these side effects. And then they just get to take them because they're consenting individuals. You know what I mean? They're consenting adults that made an informed decision. I don't see why steroids has to be any different. Yeah, so stories from coast to coast with what's his name. Oh my gosh, don't say what's his name, because now I don't remember. Now I'm thinking what's his name. Art Bell? Is that who it is? I know it's like AM Coast to Coast, but is that who it is? I never heard it on NPR. I only heard it on AM radio. Okay, it is Art Bell. Okay. Hello, Paris. Yes, I'm looking very French today. But I am leaving, so I'm sorry for you to join as I'm stepping out. But if you, Paris, have a spooky story, I'm going to be reading spooky stories on live stream on Halloween, which is my normal live stream time, but it's Halloween. So if you have a spooky story, it doesn't matter if you really believe this was some kind of paranormal encounter, or you don't believe in paranormal stuff, but this was so weird, I still don't know what it was. Feel free to message me. So that's my Discord, and then you can send me a direct message, and you can remain anonymous or not. So that's the thing. So I'm excited to do it. I like the spooky stuff. I was hoping we could make a Ouija board, but I don't know if I'll be doing that. But I was hoping to do that. I'm wondering what I would use for the planchette. I'm thinking to just use one of these, to just like, and we'll say, okay, it's the right one. Okay. I mean, this works, right? It's a planchette. It's a planchette. You know, I don't know. That's the idea. So we'll figure something out. Yeah, get the noggin jogging for the spooky season. Good. I'm glad. If you've got if you can't think of anything though, or you know somebody, or you've got like a lot of followers or whatever on social media, ask them too. That would be cool. That's totally fine. Oh, it's George Nuri. I don't know who that is. But it reminds me of George Clooney, and since we're talking spooky, The Men Who Stare at Goats. You know, if you guys, I just rewatched that, so that keeps coming up. It came up yesterday, and it's coming up today, so maybe the universe is telling me something. All right, guys. So I'll see you later, and yeah, I look forward to. I think I'm probably gonna do the Halloween live stream, regardless of whether I have a migraine. Yeah. Because you got it. It's Halloween. I'm the Halloween teacher. Everybody knows my room is the Halloween. So they'll see me, oh, teacher, you're dressed for Halloween. I'm like, aren't I always? Oh, yeah. So, all right, guys. See you later. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.